Welcome back to our class on content creation via the digital marketing pro, and we are looking at creating an impressive resume and curriculum vitae. My name is Engineer Sam Okoro, and I'm happy to have you in class today. Um, if you have any questions, just go to our chat group here and click on it, and I will respond to your questions. So let's write on. Excuse me. Um, The first thing we are going to looking at is the objective of what we are actually having this class for today, which is to guide us through the process of developing an impressive and compelling resume and curriculum vitae. We would explore the key elements and best practices to help you stand out in the competitive job market and effectively showcase your skills, experiences, and qualifications for potential employers. We ended up in this section yesterday where we actually spoke about all the ribbons, the different tabs, the various review, the SAT, design, all the tabs or components, functions you can actually relate with Microsoft Word. And then we told us that we have the quick access functions, we have the ribbon, and we have the status bar, then the background, which is the work area. That was what we ended with yesterday. And I told us that in order for us to work with Microsoft Word, we have to check all these functions or tasks, which is first to create a new document, to save your document, to do some basic text editing, to format your text, and then paragraph formatting and all that. I told us that if we are, or rather, the truth is that if we are to do it one after the other, it will be very, very boring. So the best way to actually perform all these tasks almost at the same time is when we have a document to work on, which is the essence of us creating a resume. But before you go around creating a resume, we need to have some basic understanding of what the resume is all about. Most of us call CV resume and we also call resume CV. You can use them interchangeably, but I need to explain to us the basic difference between two of them because most times we end up having what they call generic CVs, and these generic CVs usually does not do us good in the sense that it does not really speak about the skills that the employer that is actually looking at that CV really wants to see. But when you take out your time to actually construct or come up with your skill set, whereby um, the the company's need has been put to fore before the employer, and he sees it on your CV and say, "Oh, this is the person I actually want. Please call this person." So, in order to know the two difference, at first I came up with a Wikipedia definition by saying that a resume is a concise document that is usually limited to one or two pages in the sense that it is tailored to a specific job application. So it's not like it's on very, very unlike your CV that will give a detailed covering of your professional background. Please, can you mute your mic? It is distracting me here and it's actually entering our recording. So because we are recording every section, so we don't like some background noise to come into it. So just appreciate that, please. Thank you very much. So I was saying that your curriculum vitae is a comprehensive document that provides a detailed overview of your academic and professional background, often used for academic or international job applications. The reason is because it tells everything about you. You understand? So academicians who want to actually know all these things, but for the white collar jobs, maybe like the bank and engineering firm and the others that you are applying to, putting all that information down may actually piece off the person that is looking at your resume. So it is always best you come up with a resume for job applications, and then when you now go for the application proper, you will now go with your complete CV that has all that they need to ask you of. So having known that now, we need to actually know the various components of a resume or CV, the various components. And the first is that we're talking about you. So everything that has to do with you, I'm directing the statement to you now because your CV or your resume is who you are. When you are being asked, let us meet you, or someone asks you, okay, Mr. Sankoro, let us know you. What you're actually telling the person is a resume of who you are based on what you want the person to know at that particular time. So what does that mean? It means that your contact info should be clearly written there. The reason is because if you impress the person, they don't need to start looking through the document to find your phone number or to find your email address. Just at the top of your resume, your phone number, your email address, your address should be clearly stated there. So one of the key components of your resume is your contact info. Then the next is your objective and summary, giving a brief statement or some or summarized statement of your career goals and the value you will bring to the company. This time we are talking as an expatriate. So you are telling the people or whoever is going through your resume that this is your value. You're not just coming as a nobody. You have skills that you want to display, and you are coming with that with your head high. So you should be able to state that on your resume, which is your objective and your summary. Then your work experience is a third factor you should look at. It should be well structured in the sense that it should be what the company is actually looking for. Do not start, maybe you're applying for um, a network engineer. The skills that they are requesting is someone that has a CCNA certification. And you are going to tell them that you know how to carry wire. You understand? You went to a company that knows how to bend wire together and put it in a manhole. Or those statements will not make you get the right job. So specify your skills, even if you know how to bend wire, specify your skills to what the company actually wants. So your work experience should be tailored in that light. Now, the third thing is your educational, your academic qualification, which is your education. All these things I'm stating should have their own section in your resume when you are developing your resume. And you should mention the academic qualifications, your degrees that you have, your certificates, and any relevant course that the company will actually need. You should be able to state it there. Then the cherry on the cake is your skills. You need to state your skills or your competence for that job to meet up with the or rather the skills that they actually are looking for with respect to that job. Or and The last is your optional section that talks about additional sections like volunteer experience, awards, honors, and professional membership. The reason is because all these things that have been stated out, you should be able to itemize them. So immediately are coming up with a resume, these are the key functions you should state out and write as your resume or your CV. Now, before you put anything in order, the reason why I'm kind of repeating this is because our last video, there was some noise on it and it did not come out well. So I'm actually repeating the video, the order that I kind of said, but I'm a bit fast now because I know of my time constraint. So, okay, our consideration here is because we have to look at it in this way that when you tailor your resume to the job or tailoring your resume to the job, you have to customize your resume or your CV for each job application. And how do you do that? The first thing you do is to go do a little research on the job. Try and know what the job is all about. They should have a CV, sorry, they should have a website or there's definitely an employer or a past employee that is working in the company that will give information about the company and give you relevant skills. But most times on the job application, the job description is there, and you know the relevant skills that you need for that job, and that is all. The next thing is formatting and design tips. Part of the considerations you need to look at. I'm going to after this lecture, I will send this document to the WhatsApp platform so you can download it and go through it. And while we're looking at the video again, you'll be understanding most of the things I'm saying. So, like I said, you have to keep your format clean and professional. You have to use bullets, like in this case, I use bullets. You don't need to start making your words bulky, a lot of text. So that's what I mean by avoiding large block of text. No need for all that. It's just a brief intro and give you bullet points about it. Then utilize bold and italics to emphasize important information and section heading. Like in this case, we have the headings all bold and some sections are italics. Then use consistent formatting throughout the document for a polished appearance. The next other consideration is that you have to showcase achievements and impact, meaning that you have to quantify your metrics in demonstrating the impact of your achievement in the sense that if you say you did a job or a contract of 100 million, what was the profit? What was the value of the profit that you actually saved for the company? All that should be listed out. Then you have to focus on the accomplishment rather than listing the various jobs. You have to instead of saying, okay, I worked here, I worked here, I worked there. What did you achieve in those places? Were you chased out? Were you actually productive? When we call them, would they tell us that okay, this guy was actually the employer of the month or the best working person? So you should be able to tell us those accomplishments on your CV or your resume. Then you also have to include relevant keywords. Please take note, the keywords that we're looking at here are the keywords that concern the company that you're submitting resume to. It's not just coming there and say, okay, I'm CCNA, I'm current certified, I'm this and that. Those keywords are what the company will need to know that if you are someone of value. So those things has to be stated properly there. Then also ensure you proofread and edit your work. Proofread it thoroughly. Give it to someone else to look at it and say, okay, yes, this is okay, you can send it out. Or most of your write-ups, you can use ChatGPT, which is an AI function, to rephrase your statements and you look at it and see that okay, it's making sense. And before you put it on your CV, but it should have a professional touch. The next is that you personalize and brand yourself, meaning that you consider adding professional branding statements or personal logo to make your resume memorable. You can go and take a picture in the studio to let them do some finishing work on your face and put it on your resume, or do maybe your professional logo like it's written there. Maybe you are current certified, the logo or the logo of current or the company or the certificate you have. You can just put it there and brand your CV. So when they look at it, okay, this person is from, they can easily tell your background. Then you have to keep updating your CV regularly. Now, we're looking at a case study about Akman, or rather Akman Joseph, and I took out time to read it the other time. I think that was what actually took my time. And since I have already given you guys the document, I would like you guys to go through it. But let us try and develop a CV for Akman. This is Microsoft Word, and I'm here to guide us through it. It's something that we should all know, but let me just go through it. Let's assume that you are very familiar, not familiar with the whole thing, and you have gone through the write-up, and I have told all the various sections we have to pay attention to. So let us streamline it and look at each section by section based on the story that we just read. First thing we need to take note of is that we have a whole lot of skills that Microsoft Word can do for us by creating a new document. You have to look at how to create a new document. But you cannot create a new document if you do not even know how to start Microsoft Word. I'm assuming that you have not, this is your first time, or rather, you're relatively new in this area. So if you're already familiar with this, you can just fast forward, or you can bear with us while we bore you a little. So let's assume that you are new to this area and you want to open Microsoft Word. If Microsoft Word is installed your system, go to the search button there. It's usually in this angle of your screen. When you go there, just type Word on it and you see the app appearing on your screen if it is installed. Now, if it is installed, you have there, you click on open and it will open before you as you have it on your screen now. You have your file, you have your home, insert, design, layouts, your ribbon, and everything is all set for you to start typing. Now, coming back to what we are supposed to be doing, meaning that creating a new document and co. I will just quickly go through that, saying that for us to create a new document, you come to file, click on file, and you would have create on click on new, and you have that environment before you. So now that we've been able to come up with Microsoft Word, the reason why I'm saying that is because immediately you open Microsoft Word, a new document has already opened. So you've already created the document. You understand? And how do you know? You find out that the name here, like in this case now, I have already created this document, which is Atman TV, and I've named it. But if you are creating the new time, or you're clicking or are clicking the document for the very first time, what you should see is new document here. Then I'm going to show us how to save it quite later. So now summarizing everything I just said, say that first of all, it should have a title, which is a resume title, your objective, your educational qualification, your certifications, your technical skills, and professional experience all should be listed out in this section. So it's not left for you now to fill in all these sections. In fact, this is how your CV should look like. Now, the first thing you need to know is first, in order for me to be able to come up with this before showing us how the mouse is being operated, you can see that everything is in bold. So immediately you type, after typing, just select the whole of them and click on bold. But let me just show us how it is being done. I came up with some diagrams or mouse diagram here because I know that some people may not even know how to hold the mouse. Now, this is a typical way of holding the mouse. Make sure that your fingers are placed in the two buttons, which is called the left mouse button and the right mouse button. The scroll at the middle is called the scroll wheel, and there's a side button which is seldomly used. But when someone tells you that you should left click, or rather, sorry, when someone tells you that you should click on a particular icon, because anytime you move this device, you see this mouse that is rolling around the screen now will be moving, meaning that this device is the one that is operating the mouse. Now, if you just scroll through like that, or move the device, the mouse actually moves in the direction that you are moving it towards. But for you to be able to do anything with it, the mouse, if you take a look, it has these two buttons, which is the left mouse button, like I said earlier on, and the right mouse button. So when someone tells you to click on something, take the cursor, that's this mouse now that you are looking at, to the object. Let's assume that this is the object, and I say click. What that person is actually trying to say is that you should press this left button once. When someone says you should double click, what the person is trying to say is that you press this left button twice in quick succession. Now, when they tell you you should right click, what they are saying is that you click on this right button once. And if you click on this button maybe once, you are actually selecting or picking out an object. But when you right click, you're actually trying to see the shortcut properties regarding that icon that this thing is pointing at. So having known that, let's come back to uh, our CV, where I have already typed before now, resume type, title name, the objective, the education, and everything that is requested for Akpan that we're about to design a CV for him. I've listed all the components of this resume for him, and I actually selected all of them by the way I showed you before now, selecting everything, and I clicked on bold to ensure that they are all in bold. The reason is because I'm going to be placing things underneath all these subjects that are or titles, and they will not be bold, so that at the end of the day to come out looking so nice. Okay, the first is the resume. In order to summarize, I said that the resume or title is that his name is Akban Joseph, and his address is number 6 Ikorodwak Akaifa, Calabar Municipality, Cross River State. His phone number is this. You can use any format for your phone number, but it has to be your phone number. And his email address is akpanigogo at gmail.com. That alone, you have completed the resume. That's the title. Please take notes. You don't need to put resume here. It's actually forbidden to put it there. Just take it out or you delete it at the final work. But the Ackman should be very big and bold. It should be conspicuous, and every other thing will be fitted into underneath Ackman's name. So you know that that section, the title, is already stated out. The next thing is the objective. Now, for the objective, we want to write based on the story we read or based on the case study I've already shared before now. Um, Looking at you said Akpan is a dedicated and technically skilled network engineer with a strong educational foundation and hands-on experience in network operations, seeking to leverage my expertise in network engineering to contribute to the success of a dynamic organization. The reason is because the story said that Akman is trying to apply to an ICT company in Lagos. So that was why this objective was structured in this format. The next thing is educational background. We're made to understand that I told us that your educational background should be written and your job experience. In fact, most of them, most of these policies should be written in reverse chronological order, meaning that your most recent before your list qualification. So that's why Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, that's a BSc, is stated first before his secondary and his primary education. So his university education is stated first, the secondary second, and the primary. If he has masters will be on top of this. That is how you write your educational qualification for your CV or your resume. The same goes for your certifications. Your most recent certifications should be stated. Then the technical skill, because they said Akman wrote CCNA 2021, that was why we came up with these. Now, the technical skills, based on what the training on Cisco, you can now list out the various technical skills. In my own case, I stated that the network configuration and troubleshooting Cisco routers and switches because it's an ICT company. So they understand this very well. So it means that if you are going for medical industry or a pharmaceutical company, what the skills that they need, the technical skills that they need, you should go and get it and put it on that resume. As long as you know about it, don't go and get what you don't know about. As long as you have undergone a form of training in that area, you have a certificate to prove it, then put those skills there. That is exactly what will sell you out. Anyways, so in this case now, we learned that Akman wrote his CCNA and he's going to an ICT company. So on that regard, we had to put all the qualifications that has to do with ICT company. Now, the next thing is professional experience. Like I said before, now it has to be in the reverse chronological order. But in this case, we decided that okay, let's just state when he was in Calabar, he had technical training which is more relevant to the company. So we stated that first and said that he participated in a comprehensive technical training program at Signal Solutions Limited, where he gained fundamental knowledge in basic network operations, meaning that he already has a hands-on training. In youth service, we also looked at his hands-on training on hardware installation, which was according to the story. Everything was actually picked out from the story. Please take note, we have not started the CV itself. What I'm trying to do now is for us to all have this written out somewhere that will now translate into our CV. You don't just go ahead and start typing. You have to arrange or plan your CV first before you start designing or developing your CV. It is the planning stage that we are currently on now. So, having said that, we have looked at his professional experience and found out that okay, we just pad it up to make him look enticing to
the ICT company that is actually submitting his resume to. The next is his projects or the projects that he has accomplished. And we looked at based on the CV, he said he led the team in design and implementing a local area network and wireless area network for a mock business environment, successfully configured routers and switches and firewalls to establish secure communication channel. Why are we stating all this? Is because the qualification which is CCNA that he already has can enable him to perform all this. We are not saying that you should go and start lying and putting things on your CV that are not there, but you should make sure that when those things that you put on your CV can be defended. So for him to write all this, it means that he already has his CCNA. That's what I'm just trying to say. So you list your projects and those things that we make meaning to the ICT company because they will need people like people this kind or rather they are familiar with this kind of projects already. So you stating this kind of projects means that they don't have to now start retrain you anymore. You are already an added hand to the company. That's how you should be able to you should design your CVs. Now the third thing or rather another thing is the achievements and the personal attributes. Now, for your achievements, I told us before now that it should be distinct. It should be okay. Sorry, it was the achievements from the what's his name, Akpan. Both based on the story we wrote. So I didn't just bring this up. It was based on the stories that we're able to put these things up. But I just want us to have that thinking cap when we are putting up our own CV or doing it for someone else. Based on our own story, we kind of fish out this, or we can even have all this as a template. Now, having it as a template now, we'll now use it to create our own CVs that will make it very, very good based on the qualifications that we already have. Now, and another thing that we need to look at is the personal attributes. Now, why do you need personal attributes? Because they want to know if you're a team player, if you can work with people, or you actually you are the one that works as if you know everything. They want to know your person. It's very, very important in HR. So based on that, we write. That was how we stated is that he has a strong problem solving skills with methodological approach to troubleshooting, meaning that it's meticulous. Then he has exceptional attention to details in network configuration and effective communication in teamwork abilities. You should always make sure that it is stated as one of your personal attributes that you are a team player. So, having stated that, um, we also look at the language that you are fluent with, or the language that you can speak, English, French, um, any language you know you can speak properly, you just piece it there. And your interest, based on the write-up, you said is exploring imaging, emerging network technologies, attending tech seminars and workshops. That's his interest. So we just stated all those based on the write-up that we already had. Now, having said this was where I actually filtered everything and created my slides. Okay, now I have typed everything out. I did not do anything major here. I just want to show us some skills here, and that will be all. And I need us to now do it ourselves and submit back to me. And what is the assignment? Now let's assume that you have opened your Word and you took out time to type everything, and how it is done here is actually using most of those keys like making a character bold is simple. Just with your mouse, click on an extreme button, drag it down to the other end I want to make you want to effect your changes on. And if you want to make it bold, you can just click on bold and it is bold, but I don't want to do it, make it bold. If you want to make it italics, you can click on italicization and it is italics. If you want to underline everything, you can as well click on U or Control U and it is underlined.
And if you want to change the color, you can actually change the color. But please take note, this is a shortcut drop down menu that helps you with quick reference for keys or functions that you can actually um, perfect most of your work on. But what where you can get most of this functionality after highlighting is here, which is the home. It's actually giving me those functions from the home screen. And each and every function here, I would have taken my time to explain, but I have very short time to go through this. So because of that, practice makes perfect. The idea is for you to learn how to put all these keys together and type it out, and mainly comes out. You can practice to perfect yourself in all that we are doing. Um, but what I want us to pay attention at is how to use a template to design a CV. And what am I talking about? You come to your insert and you go to, go to file and come to a resume. You can use any style. There are different styles. You can even click on more styles and it will give you different styles or different templates that you can use. It must not be a resume. It must maybe it's a document you are working on or a report. There are different, or you want to create an invoice. There are different templates here that you can use. Because today's lecture is just on resume, that's why we are going for resume. We are going for resume. My time is already up. So what I'm trying to say is that when you pick up a template, you just click on it and click on create. Immediately you click on create, it appears before you. You can see that it has appeared. Now, all those things that we're talking about, you can see them here. So all you just need to do is to go to the resume that you have typed. Where is it? Yeah, is to go to the resume, pick whatever you want to pick. Go back to the template that you have created. That was bibliography. Okay. Go back to the template that you have created, or you can create one of your own. But I'm just give an example. Go back to the template, highlight the areas that you want to key those things in, and you paste it on it. Ah, it has gone to create more. Okay, let's pick something else. But what I'm trying to say is that pick those things that you have already arranged, come to the templates, and just be placing them on it. The essence is because you are not an expert to start thinking of how to design your CV in this manner. If you try it, you will not, yes, with time, you can be able to come up with something very nice. But you're actually trying to create a content that is catchy, that is more for like a professional's job. So what is expected of you is just to come up with a template that is professionally designed and fill in the blank spaces. So with this now, I can say, okay, I can begin to change all this and fill it in with what I already have to fill. So with that, I already have a template now for Atman. So with that, I can be able to do most of the things I want to do based on this template. Just taking out the 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 description there and putting the actual word. Now you have a document at your beck and call that you can actually refer to. So use that now to fill the template. And when you're done filling it, you will now have a concise template for Aqua. So at the end of this section, we have actually come to the end of this section. But what I want you to do in order for me to know if you actually understood to a large extent what I've talked about is develop I'm going to send you my, I'm going to send this to everybody as it is like this. I'm not going to touch it. Then just use this information to fill any template of yours and create any templates of yours for Akban. Then after doing that, you do for yourself. Then you know that yes, you have actually uh, done your CV. Anywhere you're having an issue, please send your questions to the platform and I will take out time to answer each and every one of them. And wherever you are having any problem in terms of what to type or how to do some certain things, also please state it on that platform. That's the WhatsApp platform, and I will answer all. So what is expected of each and every one of us now is that with that information, pick any slide of yours. Practice is what makes perfect. All that. I want us now, I want to end this class, this session now, and then